In the far east of India, landlocked between China, Burma, and Bangladesh, 7 small states, also called Seven Sisters, are struggling to exist within the immense subcontinent. Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, and Tripura. We had already surveyed the first 4. In this autumn of 2022, we wanted to discover Manipur, on the occasion of one of their most famous festivals, Chavang Kut, taking advantage of the proximity of neighboring Tripura to explore its main cities, and finally cross the Nagaland in order to witness the harvest festival, named Toku Emong. Third smallest state in India, its 3.6 million inhabitants representing barely 0.3% of the total population of the country, Tripura is made up of mountains, the highest of which culminates at 940 ME, narrow valleys and fertile plains. The territory, 60% of which is forest, enjoys a tropical savanna climate. And it is from its capital, Agartala, that we leave by car towards the south, the hills of Chabimura and the city of Melakar. In a narrow gorge, in the heart of the wooded hills, behind a thick curtain of forest, hides the site of Chabimura. In order to be able to observe it closely, we board a small motorboat and slowly go up the Gomti River, which meanders in a luxuriant setting of huge ferns, an incredible variety of trees and gigantic bamboos. Chabimura is a set of wall sculptures carved from huge vertical blocks of dark sandstone, evoking the gods and goddesses of Hindu mythology. No one really knows when or by whom they were made. They are believed to date from the 8th century. The rock fresco mainly consists of 4 large rock panels idolizing goddess Durga, Shiva, Kartikeya, and Vishnu. One of them, 13 meters high, represents the goddess Durga, endowed with 10 hands and serpents erected on her head. About 40 kilometers further, we reached Melakar, a small town mainly known for its astonishing palace in the center of Lake Rudrasagar. The Nir Mahal, which means water palace, was built in 1930 by the king of Tripura, when this state was still a kingdom. It has several special characteristics. It is a mixture of Hindu and Muslim styles. It is also the largest of its kind in India, and there are only 2 water palaces in this large country, the second being in Rajasthan. The palace is divided into 2 parts. Its western side is known as Andar Mahal. It was designed for the royal family. The eastern slope is an open-air stage where theater, dance, and other cultural events were staged for the enjoyment of the Maharajas and their families. The palace has 24 rooms in total. Marble and stone were widely used in its design. The profusion of balconies, minarets, bridges, pavilions makes Nir Mahal an architectural splendor. The remarkably landscaped gardens complete the charm. The best way to appreciate the tranquility of the lake is to stroll there in a rowing boat. Many fishermen cast and tow their nets there. Villagers cross it to get from one bank to the other, and many species of local and migratory birds land there and fly away in skimming clouds. Some 20 km further, the ancient city of Udaipur, homonym of that of Rajasthan, is not lacking in interest, in particular for the Tripura Sundari temple located on a small hill in the center of the city, one of the sanctuaries most sacred Hindus of this part of India. Traditional Brahmin preachers serve there the goddess whose name was given to the temple. It consists of a square-type shrine like the typical Bengali hut, with a conical dome. There are two identical images of goddess Tripura Sundari within it, one in black-colored stone and the other reddish. Many pilgrims flock there at puja time to bring offerings, bow down, or even take pictures of the idol. Back in the capital, we go to the Jagannath Mandir temple, built within the grounds of the Ujjayanta Palace in Agartala, and dedicated to the Hindu gods, Jagannath, Balabhadra, and Subhadra. Famous not only for the number of pilgrims who frequent it, Janagath is also a remarkable architectural feat. Its base is octagonal in shape with brightly colored orange walls. Pyramidal conical structures adorn its pillars. The fervor there is intense throughout the evening puja. Incantations, songs, prayers follow one another without interruption. At the end of the ceremonies, a meal is offered to the pilgrims. For those who come from afar, accommodation is available within the grounds of Janagath itself. On the fourth day, we take a flight to Imphal, the capital of Manipur. Our driver and friend Kukul Saikia is waiting for us at the exit of the airport. We find him with great pleasure for a third trip together, 4 years after crossing the Meghalaya. Our first major spot is the Shaving QT Festival, which takes place every November 1st in different districts of the state of Manipur. We chose to travel to the village of Churachandpur to attend. The festival first symbolizes the end of the harvest. It is also an opportunity to thank the deities for the achievement of a good season. Shavang means autumn, and Kut translates to harvest. It includes a lot of songs, dances, music, musical instruments, and a great display of culture and tradition. The Chikim community, 3 tribes, Chin Kuki Mizo, gathers there to celebrate together this major day in traditional costume, mixing demonstrations, contests, and sports competitions, during which young adults compete for the title of strongest man in the village. The political figures of the region appear at this highly symbolic event of the state of Manipur. Chief Minister Biren Singh opens it.
2022 open.
The Mizos Kukis Chins meet on the site of Peace Ground in Churachandpur in order to highlight their culture, their history, their way of life. The festivities start with the famous bamboo dance, performed by a group from the Mizo tribe. 4 pairs of bamboos are activated on the ground by the percussionists. 2 groups of 4 dancers hop above these constantly moving rods. This is the basis of this dance, from its local name Chara dance, which dates from the 1st century AD and is the pride of the Mizo people. Singers and musicians accompany another group of dancers. Next comes a group of dancers from the Kuki tribe. Their dances are representations of the work done in their daily lives. The Kukis are based in certain districts of Manipur, especially around Lake Loktak. They practice slash and burn agriculture and are mostly Christians. The Kuki people also strongly believe that on the day of KUT, deceased ancestors rise from their graves and visit family and their homes. The Kukis then pay homage to them by offering them an alcohol made from rice, fresh vegetables, cornbread, and some artisanal and symbolic jewelry. The ancestors are revered by the villagers, and people pray for the peace of their souls. The Mizos continue with a choreography that also mimics daily work in the fields and at home. festivities will continue until nightfall and well beyond. The many stalls on the Peace Ground site will provide visitors with all kinds of food, drink, and rice wine. Return to the capital, Imphal, and immerse yourself in the heart of a unique market, Ima Kithal, literally the Mother's Market, so named because it is exclusively held and administered by women. The market appeared about 500 years ago. An ancient system of forced labor in Manipur was then to send men to cultivate distant lands. The women, who remained in the village, manage the household, cultivate the rice fields, and sell the harvested products in improvised areas, thus creating markets such as the Ima Kithal. After many battles, including that of preventing the construction of a shopping center which would have meant the de facto end of their market, women are now fighting for justice, their rights, their identity, and the autonomy of the tribes. 4,000 women sell crafts, fabrics, fish, exotic fruits and vegetables, and blue lotus flowers there every day from morning to night. Even the money lenders here are women. It is a place that does not exist anywhere else in India. The market for mothers is primarily based on equality. It welcomes all women, regardless of their religion and social status. Much more than a place of commerce, it is here that the Nupilan movement, women's war, was born in the last century. They have, among many other battles, fought against drug addiction, crimes against women and human rights violations. As we cross Moirang towards Lake Loktak, we are drawn to a ceremony taking place under a large hall. It is a commemorative ceremony concerning a person important for the community who died the previous year and whose family and loved ones come to honor the memory. This type of ceremony is believed to contribute to the merit of the deceased, as well as to pacify the soul so that it does not remain in this world as a ghost, but passes through the realm of Yama, the god of death. The worship of the gods, puja, consists of a range of offerings and invocations in different stages. Personal purification and invocation of the god, then offerings of flowers, food, or money, accompanied by fervent prayers. At the end of this puja, the members and relatives of the family gather for a ceremonial meal, one particularity of which is the preparation of rice balls, offered to the spirit of the deceased. Loktak Lake. It is by far the largest freshwater lake in this part of India. Much of its surface is covered with a carpet of woven grass, a unique habitat, thanks to which many fishermen live. You can come across several rare species of animals, such as the sangai, or dancing deer, which only exists in Manipur, and many migratory birds. This ancient lake plays a major role in the economy of this state. It contributes to the production of hydroelectricity, but also to irrigation, the supply of drinking water, and a determining source of income for fishermen. A special environment is found on Lake Loktak, consisting of Fumdis, natural floating islands, which have formed as a result of the heterogeneous accumulation of humus, vegetation, and organic matter in various stages of decomposition. The residents of the lake have also developed semi-artificial floating islands named athapapums of circular shape, which are used for fish farming. The sunset is also an exceptional spectacle. We leave Moirang at dawn for a grueling day of driving on a road that has only the name. We enter Nagaland and finally reach Kohima, its capital, bordering Burma. One night on site, a brief visit to the small daily market in the heart of the city, the opportunity to discover the various exotic food delicacies of the region such as cicadas, wasps or wasp larvae, bloodworms, and many other sweets. Then we take the road again towards the district of Mokokchung. We cross villages clinging to the hills where everyone goes about their daily business. The surprised faces reveal that you see few travelers around here. In the forest, the villagers, especially the women, are hard at work cutting through the vegetation and clearing the ditches. The roads, whatever their state, remain the only link with the other villages. It is their responsibility to maintain the surroundings. Tuofima, home of the northern Angami tribe, located in the heart of the central Naga Hills, is a tourist village and a unique community tourism initiative that includes all the ingredients of a traditional Angami Naga village. We arrive there shortly before sunset. The restaurant, designed as a morung, traditional hut, and the accommodation chalets are located on the ridge that separates two sections of the village, offering a panoramic view of the surrounding valleys. Nagaland is a land of hills and mountains. Its name comes from the Nagas, a local ethnic group divided into 16 groups and 30 tribes. The Nagas were evangelized by Baptist missionaries who came from America in the 19th century. This conversion to Christianity, but also literacy, initiation to English, have been causes of considerable cultural changes and irremediable loss of ancestral traditions, even if these people have retained a more or less important part of their animist practices. Today is Sunday, and we are going to the Baptist Church of Tuafima. The country now has nearly 1650, for a somewhat special Mass. It honors the students of the village, who are invited to sing, and who are offered gifts after their performance.
Jesus, do you love Jesus? Do you love Jesus? Do you love Jesus? Do you love our soul light? Our soul light, our soul light. No more darkness, no more night. Jesus, 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 when the sun goes down.
A walk around the village allows us to discover several morongs still in good condition and their interior layout. We meet an old man, the most famous basketry maker in Tuafima, in the midst of making the characteristic basket of the Angami, the Hofi. He is keen to show us his accomplishments, including his huge grain storage jars, and how he designs them. In the evening, we are lucky enough to be able to attend a traditional vigil of Angami women. These 12 women are also singers and have been practicing this art together for almost a quarter of a century. Cotton spinning is practiced around the hearth, the central place of the Naga habitat, where we cook and prepare tea. The Angami are one of the largest communities in Nagaland. They are mainly settled in 3 districts of the country, including that of Kohima. 98% of them are Christians, but they are also one of the last ethnic groups with an animist population. Traditionally, the Angami Nagas are mountain dwellers who depend mainly on cultivation, particularly that of rice terraces, and animal husbandry. Their main source of income comes from there, and from the forests. The Angami are also skilled craftsmen, creators of sophisticated handicrafts. They also know the art of weaving and dyeing clothes. To this day, these arts and crafts are still a source of income for many of them. Cotton spinning is done here as it was centuries ago. The fiber is first crushed on the stone. It is then carded, that is to say airy, untangled, on a bamboo stick, then rolled into a tube around a metal rod. Spinning is the last step. Here, the Angami women use a spindle and, in the absence of a spinning wheel, a wooden bar to stretch the future reel. The traditional songs are harmonic and captivating. We leave Tuafima early in the morning to reach Woka, an hour's drive through forests and rice fields and hills. It is the day of Toku Emong, one of the many festivals in Nagaland, and a well-known harvest festival for the Lotha Naga tribe. The whole village of Woka takes part in the celebration. Each family prepares food and drink. Friends, relatives, and neighbors invite each other to their homes, all over a period of 9 days. On the first day, the women dress in their best clothes, the men in their traditional dress, according to their social status, and the community comes together to celebrate its traditions, culture, and heritage. Lothas are said to originate from eastern China. After a long migration, from Malaysia to Indonesia and then to Burma, they finally settled in northern Nagaland. They were once, like the other Nagas, a tribe of headhunters. Baptist missionaries forced them to abandon this practice, along with their age-old rituals. These evangelists now systematically intervene during festivals, even though they were originally animists. After the songs, dances, and speeches, it's time for entertainment, games, and strength contests between men. In particular, tug of war, a very popular game in Nagaland, where teams compete and follow each other without respite under the vociferations and encouragement of the public. The day after the festival, we take the road from early morning towards the district of Longleng, the last stage of our journey in Nagaland. This part of the country is one of the few places where there are still virgin forests. This region is home to the Phom Naga tribe. It is a poor region where the forest resource is one of the main sources of subsistence for the populations. We cross remote villages with often basic constructions, as well as the living conditions. Some 15 kilometers from Longleng, the village of Yongpang reveals some magnificent morungs. They are the pride of the locals. Each tribe has a specific way of building their huts. They are usually decorated with hunting trophies or precious wood carvings on the door, including buffalo heads. Announcements of meetings, the death of a villager, warnings of imminent danger, etc., were made from the morungs by the beating of the long wooden drums stored there. Since the adoption of some modern practices, the Nagas have abandoned the use of morungs. A long day of driving awaits us to reach the state of Assam, from where we will take our flight to Delhi. We will only reach Sivasagar, our last stop before the return, after dark, in rather perilous driving conditions. Sivasagar is a heritage place in Assam, famous for its monuments from the time of the Kingdom of Ahom, starting with Rangar, a former royal pavilion in which kings and nobles attended bullfights and other sporting practices on the ground behind the building. The Ahoms used a type of special thin, fired bricks, and as cement used a paste made of rice and eggs as mortar for their constructions. The Talatar Gar is the largest monument in the region. This stunning structure, built in the 18th century, originally built to be a military base, is actually an underground palace. It has so many doors, rooms, and hallways that it's easy to get lost. There are also 2 secret tunnels that were used to evade enemies, one of which is 16 kilometers long. The Karan Gar is the main palace of the Ahom kingdom. The 4-story building, the last of which, designed in the form of a bedroom, was intended for the royal family. The ground floor of the palace served as a store and accommodation for the servants. A secret underground tunnel connects the Karan Gar to the Talatal Gar. "22 kilometers from the city, Pani Dihing is a bird sanctuary, in the middle of meadows and wetlands. No less than 267 species of birds, including 70 species of migratory birds, have been identified and recorded there. The sunset over the Joy Doll Temple, dedicated to Shiva on the north bank of the Joy Sagar, reminds us that this part of India, which is called the Seven Sisters, conceals innumerable riches, and that we still have a lot to discover.